Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have Kendra Chatterley joining us here today, our founder and principal designer from Rise Interiors. She's based out of North Kingston, Rhode Island, and we're going to talk today about her consultation company, which is focused on providing support to her clients and through every stage of development when it comes to construction. So first and foremost, welcome to the show today. How are you?
Good. Thank you, Jill, so much for having me. This is a fantastic opportunity to come with you and chat more about what I love to do.
Well, we appreciate you and we're excited that you're here joining us. So, first and foremost, tell us a little bit about what Rise Interiors does.
So, Rise Interiors is an interior design consultation company, and it was founded out of a love and passion for what I do, and realizing that there was a part of the market that wasn't able to access what I do and how much value it brings to the market. So I decided, opposed to taking my education and experience and going into more of a firm-based element, I decided to try to bring it to the masses and to support the average, common, normal person, normal, if you will, our average person that is in the process of either renovating, developing, or trying to rediscover their home. So it's really become a passion and a love of what I do to get it out there to the people that need it.
Aw, well, we got to find out more about you now before we talk about this beautiful work you're doing. And by the way, speaking of beautiful work, go to riseinteriors.org. Also, you have social media pages as well, right?
I do. So I am currently building into my Instagram and social media platforms. To be honest, I'm a one-man show, so this has been a labor of love and slowly building into it. So the social media part is starting to kind of build, and this is part of that avenue that I'm working on, is coming to see you to help start to develop that piece further. Because
Beautiful.
Rhode Island is such a small state and is really the smallest state in the country. So because it's such a small state, networking, growing a business in Rhode Island is really about getting out there and meeting your neighbors. It's really about communicating with, the guy down the street or the business down the street. So a lot of my professional development has been one-on-one, face-to-face, meeting clients, meeting builders, meeting real estate agents, meeting anybody that deals with the real estate market, buys, sells, invests, or wants to redevelop. So that is where a majority of my work has been put in towards, is really getting into that person, that face-to-face. But that said, as things change and I'm evolving and growing the business, it is, really imperative that I start to go down that avenue into the social media and get out to more. So
I want to hear about you, learn more about you. I know you loved art from the beginning of your life. Your passion, you said, was born from how art and architecture affected us. Tell me where you grew up and tell me more about this passion.
So from the get-go, as a little girl, I loved art, anything creative, anything bright colors. So I have, from a very young age, realized the impact that color affects us and our space affects us. So meaning when we're, growing up and coloring on our coloring books, if we use black and white, gives us a different effect than bright reds and oranges and vivid tones. And those vivid tones have an effect on us on a biological way. And as I got older, I started to grow further into a love for art. Originally was planning on going to RISD for fine arts, and then kind of leaned more into interior design. And as I started getting a little further along in my college search, I ended up at Wentworth Institute of Technology in Boston, for the fact that they leaned more into the engineering architectural side of it. So it wasn't just about creating a space in my head. It was about creating a space that I could share with my clients, because in the end of the day, it's about their experience and how they experience their space. That's really big. I mean, that's how we experience our interiors, is how it affects our day, how we start our day. Do we wake up in a really amazing space and have a beautiful place to have a cup of coffee and put our thoughts together for the day? Or are we sitting amongst chaos in a space that doesn't function, that kind of steals our peace? So that sort of part of my job is something I really focus in on, is helping my clients engage and develop a space that engages with them, that interacts with them, that affects how they live. So that part of art growing up, and then loving into the architecture and the experience that it left me. I mean, I've had jobs and been in spaces, I'm sure you too, going into these beautiful restaurants, and you leave and you're like, oh, what an amazing experience. You know, the food was amazing, but
Yes.
the environment, it made me feel a certain way. And I tell people that interior design makes you feel a certain way. It gives you an experience. And my goal is that it's an long-lasting experience. It's something that you take with you when you leave, and it sets an example of what you feel, how you feel. You know, how did it affect you? Is it something that improved your day, improved your dinner? You know, when you went out and had a beautiful environment, did that low lighting and plush chairs and those sorts of pieces affect how you enjoyed that meal? So that's the kind of piece that art and architecture that developed further, that left those long lasting impressions. And those are the sorts of things I want to share with my clients.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing this. And you also want people to know that making interior design accessible is possible. Beautiful doesn't have to be custom, you say, right?
True. Yeah. I mean, so oftentimes, one of the fantastic things about my job is I have clients that are very well off and have very expensive homes. And then I have other clients that are very modest homes. I have clients that come to me where they have a spouse that has a disability or some sort of a physical hurdle that we want to redevelop the space to. So giving them an opportunity to have a space that services them, that it can change how they impact. But that range, that accessibility, that interior design is a very powerful tool that oftentimes we label as something superficial or only custom or only high end. And I've had people say I'd love to hire you, but I wouldn't be able to hire you. And that's a problem, because of any professional, I want to be accessible to the people that need me and not necessarily have people that see me as outside their ability, or outside the possibility to bring me into a job to help them to be better and to take the stress off. I mean, that's a big thing too. I have a lot of clients that they're going to do a paint color and color scares them. So they don't know what to do. And sometimes it's just a 45-minute meeting, and I
Yeah.
can leave them with their paint samples and they're thrilled and they feel confident. And then when they're spending that thousands of dollars to get their paint done, they don't have that second guessing. They don't have that worry.
Yeah.
They know why we came to that palette. So those
Oh.
sorts of differences, it's about making a difference in the lives of my clients. It's really important to me.
And by the way, Kendra is amazing. Paul Culp says at what you do. She's handled many revisions from me with grace and kindness. I love her spirit. I can do approach and attitude, or can do approach and attitude. I would recommend it to any of my clients. It's great to see positive client testimonials here as well. Finding inspiration. Someone else, Keith, says we like Kendra's imaginative design service, and we have used her on a couple of remodeling projects in Rhode Island. And that's what I was going to ask next. So specifically, are you working with clients in Rhode Island, or are you doing virtual work these days too?
So currently I'm focused in Rhode Island. I'm always open to talking to anyone outside the area, because even if I can't sit right in front of you, I can still give you a lot of the tools to be successful and to
Yeah.
how to put the puzzle pieces together. So I'm open to talking to anyone that loves interior design, anyone that has thoughts of doing a project and maybe overwhelmed of where do we start, or
Mm-hmm.
how do we approach it. But right now, predominantly I'm in the Rhode Island area, but I'm all about growing. So anyone that wants to talk interior design, I'm happy to connect.
Oh my gosh, I'm just like on your site and I'm still peeking around. I mean, the kitchen and bath design, I'm looking at all these pictures. I mean, there's so many different services, but this cabinetry design, oh my, where did you want to start? Because you also offer the technical drawings. How does it work to work with someone like you? What is the process? I mean, these are beautiful.
Thank
Love,
you.
I'm
So,
loving this portfolio.
oh, good. Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to share with you. And again, I'm happy to connect with your listeners. So the key is with my job is the client will call me and say, hey, I'm looking to redesign my kitchen. I have a house, from the 60s, and the original builder didn't figure in any of the modern amenities that we need, and it doesn't work and it doesn't function. I don't know where to start because the layout doesn't work and this doesn't work. And so the clients often get caught up on what doesn't work. So when I go out and meet with them on site, what we do is we go through what they really have and what they're asking for, and how can I put things into alignment. So as a baseline, I'm considered a construction supervisor. I have a bachelor's degree of interior design from Wentworth in Boston, but it's really about, each job is so individual. And even for the same client, we can do two projects for the same client, but it doesn't mean that there's the same project. They have different goals, different budgets. So as we start each job, it's really about customizing what the needs are. And because I've been doing this so long, and because there's been such a variation in the markets over the years I've been professionally active, it has led to really allowing those different educational pieces that I've gained to be tools to my clients. So you need help with picking out paint colors. I can help you pick out. We can do color theory. I'll teach you all about color. I'll teach you why we would use what we would use. You're looking to do a cabinetry layout. No problem. We can do that. We can develop anything you want. And I tell my clients, shoot for the stars. We price it on paper. If you don't mind the price, then we get to go forward. If we get the pricing back and it's not within budget, then we tweak it to get you where you need to be. But it's about educating my clients so that they feel as though that they've been given all the tools to be successful and to be empowered in the process. So anyone who's recently done construction knows the expense and the toll. So there's a toll, a financial toll, an emotional toll, and a physical toll of living through construction.
Yeah.
You have the money going out. You have a house that is pretty much almost uninhabitable if you are living there through it. And you have, I've had moms that are like, if I have to wash dishes in a bathtub for one more week while we're waiting to get the floors in, I can't do this anymore. So there's a part for me coming at this on a human level. That's one of my biggest points in my business. This is a human thing. Construction, your home, all of that is a human thing. So really honoring the process that my clients go through, the sacrifices that they go through, and making sure that my support is coming in and guiding them in a way and bringing in resources in a way that helps alleviate some of that. So meaning if you want, a certain element in your space, we're going to develop it and kind of look into it and see if it's something physically we can do, if it's financially something we can do. And if we can't, you're at peace with letting it go in the job because we've explored the avenues and you've decided this either financially isn't what I want or physically isn't what I want as far as an answer. So then they can move past that. So when the job is done, there's no second guessing. We've explored all the wants. We've explored all the avenues. We've explored your wish list. So when it's done, it's a true reflection of you in a way that is representative of both your budget and your expectations. And that's really important to me. So whether they just want color theory, or they want cabinetry, or they're doing tile, or we need to do CAD drawings and we need to get things down on paper so our teams can come in and develop accordingly to what the client wants and not what they think they want, because that is also a problem in construction too. Clients will tell a builder, I want a large shower. A builder has no idea what that means. Do you want a 60-inch by 60-inch shower? Like how big is big to you? So that too gives my clients the ability to use the tools in my toolbox to make sure that our teams on board are all in alignment. They know what we're building towards, what our expectations are, and we resolve a lot of the problems before we get to a point where we can't. So
Thank you so
there's
much.
lots of steps.
Yeah, well, let's remind everyone all the ways we can contact you, please. Would you mind sharing?
Sure. Feel free to reach out and you can visit us at riseinteriors.org. If email is your best bet, then that is fine. riseinteriors@gmail.com. And lastly, if you're looking for a phone call, you can feel free to give me a call, 401-499-2467. And I'm always happy to chat with clients. So feel free to give me a call.
All right. Thank you so much. I mean, there's still so much more to talk about the work you're doing. Did you want to kind of break it down a little further? You mentioned, the time that you work, you said you focus on education, support, and guidance to help people. Let's talk about the process of hiring someone like you. Where do you begin? Do people come bring in pictures? Do you explain the process? Thanks.
So because I love what I do, I want this to be a fun process for my
Yes.
clients. And sometimes the realities aren't so fun, but we can make it fun where we can. So I tell my clients, shop, go online, find Pinterest photos, take pictures of your neighbor's kitchen if you love it. Like, send me pictures that inspire you. Send me pictures. They don't have to directly relate to your space, but a client being able to send me images. So usually what we do, to go back to your question, I'll meet with a client on site. We go over the scope of what they're looking for. We go over the realities of what they're kind of, up against. And then I send them with their homework. So I'll say, okay, well, if we're doing a kitchen, find some images of kitchens that really get you excited, the things that make you want to say, yes, this is fantastic. I would love to have a kitchen that looks like this. I'd love to have a space that makes me feel like that. So once they start feeding me images into what their goals are, that helps me to get a direction of their wants and their tastes and what they like. Because I can see the consistencies between the photos. And I'll tell my clients too, if you send me a picture, but you don't really love the image, but you love the sink, tell me you love the sink so I know what I'm looking at. But those little pieces are puzzle pieces for me. And then narrowing down those puzzle pieces help me know how to gauge them. So are you more of a traditionalist? Are you someone that likes it very sleek and modern? Is this something that, you want a country flair, you want something a little bit more easygoing, maybe a little bit more of a rustic touch, then that's perfect too. The biggest part of my job is that it reflects my clients, not so much myself. So it's about getting to understand my client and by their wish list and not putting any pressure on them to produce answers. Just find things that you love, find things that inspire you. And I can use those tools to help step off, towards your job and make sure that feeling is implemented into the installation. So the process is a little unique on every job, depending on what their needs. And some clients have drafting, some don't. Some clients only come in for drafting. I've had clients that have a bathroom from the 90s that is huge and kind of not very functional. And so they'll say to me, I have this big footprint. It's kind of a waste of space. How do I reuse the space and getting what I need and want out of it now with an updated feel? So sometimes it's just a drafting project where a client needs to see one space where they have it and then where the possibility of where we can go. And that too, my clients, once they have those drawings, they can submit them to a builder or a GC to get numbers. And now those numbers are much more accurate to what they're looking to do, opposed to kind of, I'm thinking of renovating my bathroom, what would it cost me?
Got it. Oh, right. I mean, there's a plan, and it's so funny because I have a 7 and 9-year-old. I don't know. Do you have any children? I don't know your
I
background.
do.
I wanted to
Yes.
ask that too. Yeah, tell me more
Yes.
about thank you.
Okay. I'm a single mom. I have two boys. I have a 19-year-old son and I'm a boy mom.
Me
100%
too. Mine are 7 and
certain.
9, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Go
Yep.
ahead.
So my youngest is 11. And I even approach my job as a single mom. Like if it's not functional, this isn't going to work. I don't want to give my client an installation that they have to babysit or that the kids can't sit at the island or they can't touch this or they can't engage with. So it's about all my installations is about being effective but efficient. So if you have a busy household and you have a bunch of dogs, and I probably would be more skeptical to give you a lot of like painted cabinetry, because if the dogs put their feet up on the cabinetry, it's going to get scratched. Or I've had clients that want to do a distress finish on the cabinetry. So then when their dog scratched the cabinetry, it doesn't really matter because it's already distressed. It looks fantastic. And now it looks like it's intended. So there's different ways we can integrate your life into the space that we're building for you. And being a single mom and someone that is very focused on the reality of it, right? Like we can have a beautiful space, but if I can't maintain it, if I can't use it, then how much value does it have? And that's something for me, the longevity of an installation is really important. And coming from my background, for me, it's important. So I try to also come at that, towards my clients as well. That said, if a client's like, I don't even care, this is really what I want, that's fine too. But then we're going to have a conversation about it just so you're not surprised by, the dogs jumped all over my cabinetry and scratched it. Yeah, because that's with dogs, with kids, boys, especially, chaos happens. So it's really about integrating our interior spaces into a way of our life and making the two unify, that they support each other.
Though, us having children, like I see these beautiful homes like on your website, I'm looking at the kitchen and all I can think about is my house. It's in disarray because the kids and all my moldings are getting scratched and the walls it's like, I so want to do these things, but it's hard for people with children to make the house is what they want. Do you recommend waiting till the kids are a little older?
Sometimes, but again, sometimes it's just about being practical. So like I know right now, hardwoods is beautiful, but vinyl flooring has a very special part in the market as well. And I mean, being in a state that we have a lot of beaches, there's a lot of sandy feet in the world that I live in. So, and dogs and those sorts of things as well. So having a house that you have to babysit it's not ideal. So like in certain places, like a beach house, we can do a quality vinyl plank and get you something that is spectacular looking, but that you can come in with your sandy feet and you can go make yourself a drink or go get yourself a bite to eat and not have to worry about, how is this going to damage my space? Is this something that is going to create a problem down the road? And so it's really about aligning the materials and the client to their expectations and their needs. And again, sometimes the client will say, you know what, I don't even care. I want hardwood floors. We'll refinish them if they get worn. That's okay too. If that's what you want to accept, that's fine too. But the conversation leading into it is important. So it's really about making sure that, again, the spaces support the client so that you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, because life's too short to only have all the good stuff when the kids are grown, right? So sometimes it's about finding things that are maybe a little bit more durable so that it can sustain the kids, and that, or maybe sometimes even maybe we go a little bit less expensive on something. So in getting the ideal couch that you would really love to have,
Yeah.
maybe isn't really on the scope right now. Or maybe it is. If you want a white couch and you have dogs and kids, maybe we get you a couch using Sombrella fabric where there's nothing they can do to it. So you can have your white couch with muddy feet and peanut butter and jelly fingertips and still have a beautiful white couch. So it depends on how we utilize the materials to get you the effect that you want, as long as we're building into something that you can live in. You have to be able to live in it. And that's the biggest piece, is that sustainability.
And any certain fabrics that are good for cats that scratch, or no? I'm doomed. I have cats.
Yeah, the cats can be hard. Not really. I mean, because once they start with their nails, it can be hard. But you know what? That said, I have so many resources. I would go tap into my resources and some of my vendors and other manufacturers that I know, and talk to them and say, do you have anything that my client is looking for this? Do you have anything that can support us in that? And that's important too, where my engagement with my local brick and mortars, my local companies, I can't be everything. And that's true. And again, I'm all about this as a team effort. So if I have a manufacturer or vendor that does furnishings or does fabric, and I can go to them and say, I have a client, they have cats. Do you have anything that the companies are producing now that could wear against that? And it's all of the industries are constantly changing. And that's where my constant working relationship with my people really help come to the table for my clients too, because I can say, hey, this is what we need. Do you know of anyone that might offer that? Does the markets offer anything like that? And what kind of resources have you seen in the past that are been utilized to get, the results that we're searching for? So it's always, there's no problems, they're just solutions. So that's kind of how I come at my job. There's no problems, just solutions. We just need to find the right solution for you. So for your cat answer, I'm sure we can find something.
Thank you. Thank you. I know, don't laugh, but I have like those old school Italian plastic covers on my kitchen chairs, which is so horrible. I feel like I'm at my grandma's house. Protects the furniture, but now they're there all the time and it just looks hideous. But all right, forget about that. More about the work you're doing. We still have, oh my gosh, we only have just 3 minutes left in the show. It goes so quick. What else for today?
Gosh.
Yeah. Oh my God. What else did you want to make sure we cover for today?
Just honestly, getting interior design out to the masses, that this is something, it's a tool. Just like you would use a tool in any other way, interior design is a tool, and it often gets overlooked because it seems, unattainable to most. But the reality is, myself coming on board to help a project can save a ton of money because we're not redoing things. There's mistakes that have already been eliminated from the process because we've planned it. And it's about that foresight and planning and that team effort. So construction is a community-based thing. It's all about us coming together for the welfare of the client, but all the support of all the businesses are part of that. So, it's really about interior design being a much bigger thing than just for the elite. And I think that's one of my top notions coming out of this is really the accessibility.
Absolutely. And, you can have what you want, and you need to reach out. And do you offer an initial consultation for someone?
Yeah. So usually what I do on site, we'll do a 1-hour consultation. I can do that for like $150. I'll come out, I'll meet with you, we'll go over the whole project. I'll give you all the information. And then from there, you can decide, is this something you want to put more into? Is this something that seems like it's aligned with what you want? And again, there's no commitment. That's my biggest thing, and my clients have said over the years, is your accessibility. You are approachable. And that's important for me, that I am a tool that my, community can really bring to the table to help better themselves during these process. Because
And
Construction is trying.
yeah, no, and the color consults you do, shopping assistance. There's so much more that we still need to talk about. So hopefully we're going to meet again. Are we
Yes.
back again next week or?
I'm not sure. I'll have to touch base with the guys,
Sure.
but if not, we'll have to come back and schedule something to come back and see you.
Yay, exciting.
Yeah.
And there's so much to talk about. And I know you're big with painting, with colors, with everything. You offer some packages too. Please go check out our portfolio, riseinteriors.org. And how other way do you want people to reach out to you?
Like I said, have whatever is the best method for them, a phone call, an email, go to the website, check it out. I find one of the biggest ways I connect with my clients is through a simple phone call of just saying, I have a kitchen and it's overwhelming and I don't know where to start. And it's like, don't worry, we can help you.
Totally,
and
yeah.
just someone telling a client that you're not alone. It doesn't have to be as scary as it feels. And you've got the support to be successful, can make a
Great.
big difference in any project.
Well, thank you again for being here. Pleasure having you here today.
Thank
and
you,
excited
Jill.
to
It's so
talk
wonderful
with
to meet
you.
you.
Same
Yes.
here. And to all of our listeners, please stay tuned. Don't forget riseinteriors.org, and we'll be right back with more.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.